In the quiet Bavarian village of Klingenberg, Germany, a devout Catholic family's life takes a tragic and terrifying turn when their eldest daughter, Anneliese Michel, begins to suffer from increasingly violent and unexplainable symptoms. Born in 1952, Anneliese is an intelligent and deeply religious young woman who, at the age of 16, begins experiencing disturbing phenomena, seizures, voices in her head, and intense hallucinations. Doctors diagnose her with temporal lobe epilepsy, but medication fails to alleviate her symptoms. As time passes, her condition spirals into something far more sinister. By her early 20s, Anneliese's behavior becomes extreme and terrifying. She describes seeing demonic faces everywhere she goes and hearing voices telling her that she's damned to hell. Despite the ongoing medical treatment, she begins to believe that she is possessed by multiple demons. Anneliese's violent episodes escalate. She becomes uncontrollably aggressive, often attacking family members, and starts speaking in guttural voices, claiming to be Judas, Nero, Hitler, and other evil spirits. She refuses to eat, believing that demons are preventing her from consuming food, and her body begins to wither. The family, convinced that the problem is not medical but spiritual, turns to the church for help. After much hesitation from church authorities, Father Ernst Alt and Father Arnold Renz are granted permission to conduct an exorcism in 1975 under the ancient Rituale Romanum rites. Over the course of 10 months, Anneliese undergoes 67 intense exorcism sessions, during which she displays horrific behavior. She screams uncontrollably for hours, tears off her clothes, eats insects, and contorts her body into unnatural, impossible positions. Her voice changes, taking on the tones and languages of multiple entities. At times, she exhibits superhuman strength, lashing out violently and resisting restraint. During the sessions, she speaks in different voices, claiming to be inhabited by 6 demonic entities, including Lucifer himself. The priests and her parents witness these episodes, believing fully that they are battling the forces of hell. Anneliese's deterioration is horrifying to everyone around her. Her once vibrant, pious self now reduced to a tortured, skeletal figure. As the exorcisms continue, the boundaries between mental illness and possession blur. She becomes increasingly frail, refusing medical intervention despite her obvious need for help. By mid-1976, Anneliese is severely malnourished, weighing just 68 pounds. Her knees are shattered from repeatedly kneeling in prayer during the exorcisms. She begs the priests and her family to stop the exorcisms, claiming that she can no longer endure the torment. In her final days, Anneliese tells her mother that she believes she must suffer to atone for the sins of others and to save souls. On July 1st, 1976, Anneliese dies from malnutrition and dehydration, having endured over a year of torment without medical care. Her death shocks the world, and her parents and the 2 priests are later charged with negligent homicide. The subsequent trial, held in 1978, becomes a media sensation, with experts on both sides debating whether Anneliese was suffering from severe mental illness or was indeed possessed by demonic forces. Doctors argue that her symptoms could be explained by epilepsy and psychosis, while the defense claims she was a victim of demonic possession. The trial raises ethical and spiritual questions about faith, mental health, and the fine line between religious belief and medical responsibility.
The story of Anneliese Michel remains one of the most chilling and controversial cases of exorcism in modern history. The tapes from her exorcism sessions, filled with her haunting unnatural voices and chilling cries, continue to fuel speculation. Was she a young woman suffering from an undiagnosed mental disorder, or was she truly possessed by evil forces? The ambiguity of her case haunts those who hear her story. The Exorcism of Anneliese Michel explores the intersection of faith, fear, and the unknown. It forces us to confront our deepest fears about the existence of evil and the limitations of human understanding in the face of inexplicable phenomena. Whether viewed as a tragic case of medical neglect or a legitimate spiritual battle, Anneliese's story lingers as a harrowing reminder of how little we truly know about the mind and the soul.